Hello, friends on the internet. My name is Otis. Glad that you could take your time to join me on this episode of The Novelist, sessions where I just pick my brain and find stuff that helps me to move forward. And I often love to share this stuff with anyone who is out there to listen. Today, I want to talk about meditation and prayer. Why put these two together? Because meditation and prayer, they go hand in hand. It's not just a matter of praying. It's not about speaking words, but it's also about the quality, right? What energy or what life force, or what life are you giving to your prayer? Let me start by defining meditation, not really a definition, but just to describe, because we often hear meditate, I meditate, and meditation is a state of mind. Meditation is more of a state of mind than a process. We often hear it as a process, but meditation is a state of mind where the body, the mind, the spirit, and the soul are in union. That is what we call meditation. We've heard about meditations of the saints, meditations of Saint John of the Cross, meditations of Mother Teresa, meditations of Mahatma Gandhi. Meditation is more of a state of mind rather than a process. So when we reach that state where our body, mind, and spirit are unified, they're speaking one language, then you can say you are in a meditative state. Whatever you do, you are flowing naturally. When you're in a meditative state, you're more natural and in tune with your spirit. Your spirit is the non-physical you. And if you reach that meditative state, then your spirit is just flowing naturally and pouring and manifesting through your actions, through everything you do. And in that way, that is the most effective way of speaking a prayer. When you attain that state of mind and not one of these is conflicting, then you're in a meditative state. And in that state, you are able to give life into whatever you speak. And so that brings me also to the definition of a prayer. And a prayer is simply setting out your intention. A prayer is speaking out your intention and setting it in motion. The most effective way of setting your prayer in motion, that is giving it life, is when you're in the meditative state. Because when you're in a meditative state, every part of you is working uniformly for a specific goal. And as such, you find that your focus and your effort is laser sharp, right? So it's not divided, it's just focused on one thing. And in this meditative state, we are often in union with the universal spirit, the universal intelligence, the universal consciousness. And the universal consciousness is not God, because God is above. God is beyond the universal intelligence. We have the intelligence and the universal consciousness, the intelligence that runs life, that tells the cell how to, sets everything in motion, the cell division and everything. And we can often see that when you look at nature, that there's some sort of intelligence, universal intelligence, that is just interwoven or interconnected with everything, and it is just unfolding life in every way. And that is God's intelligence, and it is not God, as some people would say that, hey, nature is God. Of course, it is a sub-creation of God, but it is not God. And so our spirits, which are invisible parts of us, when we are in union in body, mind, and spirit, we channel that energy from the physical and into the spirit. And the spirit, which is a subtle part of us, the unseen part of us, is in tune with the universal consciousness that operates life, or that gives the intelligence life that we see. And as such, when we speak prayer in that state of mind, it's more powerful, it's more potent, it's setting things in motion. This is why even traditionally people go to the saints, or people go to the monasteries and then they ask for these people to pray for them, all right, they are willing to take something out of their pocket, sacrifice and take it there so that these people can have some favor in them and help them submit a prayer. It is simply because these people who are in the monastery, or the saints and all those people, they are in this state of mind where they are in tune with the high intelligence. And so whenever they set the intention through prayer, it sets everything in motion, and it is more likely that miracles are bound to happen. And so if you look at this analogy, you'll find that prayer and meditation, they are so much interlocked. We have a tendency often of just uttering prayer rushedly and then thinking that we've uttered a prayer, but that in itself is just a waste of time. Sometimes you want to eat and then you perform a prayer just as a ceremony or as a ritual, something that you just utter out very fast, and then you get on with what you want to do. But that is a very non-effective way of praying. You will always feel after praying that, hey, that prayer is effective or is more powerful. But when you utter it in a rushed way, more often you will feel that your prayer has not been effective. And so just get into this habit where before you pray, you fall into a meditative state where you take your time to cool down, shut down everything else, and just focus, all right? Shut down the entire system and unify the mind, body, and spirit, all right? You'll always feel like you're floating. That is why in meditation, people say that, they feel light. And so when you fall in a meditative state, you'll always feel light, all right? You'll feel like you are so much locked, you can't even feel your body. And in that state, the spirit now is ready to speak out the prayer. And that is the best time now to utter in your prayer, because you are more in connection and in tune with the higher spirit. And whatever you speak, you give it life and you set it out in motion. Up to that stage, you might be having questions. Whatever I've described, it is a bit more complex, and it is intended for someone who is on the path, who is trying to find answers. It is not intended for someone who is just watching for the sake. And so if you're one of these person who you are in this path and you're trying to find answers, then I hope that with that description, you get a clue, or at least it triggers something in your mind about, the path and essentially how to live a more fruitful life. Feel free to drop me a question. I'll be able to get back to you. And I'll be dropping more of these videos, so be sure to subscribe and like this content. Thank you and have a great time.